Okay, so in today's video, we're going to have a look at word formation. It's about advanced level, I guess. But this is a part of the exam that people always ask me, how can I prepare for this part of the exam? Either you know the answer or you don't. Or they ask for lists of like how you can turn a word from a verb into an adjective. What's the rule? The best way is to practice. And how can you practice? Well, doing loads and loads of practice sample papers and having a look at exercises like this on this website. What's the name of this website? So I can plug it a bit. ESL Lounge. Really, really good. It's got hundreds of exercises that they've basically sampled from old exams and things. So we're going to have a look here at what are essentially example sentences taken from part 3 of the Cambridge Advanced Certificate in Advanced exam, the C1 level exam. A sentence is taken out. Obviously, we know that part 3 is normally like a short text with 8 gaps, but we're just going to look at individual sentences here. They give you one word, and you just have to change that word, right? You don't have to do anything else. You just have to use that as the root and make a word that's similar to it. And we're just going to get into it. I'm going to do about 100. I think that's the best way to practice. Let's see how many you get right, and then you'll know, do you need to practice it more or not? You'll know whether you're prepared to do this part of the exam. So let's have a look at number 1. Number 1 is compare. Yeah, everyone gets this one wrong. Many people often make a between London and New York. Yeah, the typical error here, everyone says comparation or something like that. And I hope I can remember. Hang on, let me write it down. I think it's comparison. Yeah, I always wonder if there's 2 R's or 2 S's. No. It's comparison, like that. Yeah, many people often make a comparison between London and New York. Yeah, no problems there. Okay, good. Let's go to number 2. What does it say here? This book origin as a series of lectures about shipwrecks which were given 2 decades ago. So it did something as a series of lectures about shipwrecks. Oh God. I think it started. No, so it originated. Originated. Is that right? It originated as a series of lectures about shipwrecks, which were given 2 decades ago. Yes, I don't know why I'm doubting that one. Okay, there are power stations across Europe that use the day rise and fall of the ocean tide. So the power stations use we want an adjective here, the rise and fall of the tides that happen every day. So this is one that people misspell all the time, D-A-I-L-Y. Where am I writing that? In the wrong gap. Yeah, so it should be here. Number 3, the daily rise and fall of the ocean tides. Yeah, I think that's right. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, number 4. If you weren't so critic of Ben, he'd be happier to spend time with you. So I think here we want, again, an adjective now. So it would be critical, I think. Critical. I got them writing it in the wrong place again. Yeah, critical. If you weren't so critical of Ben. No? Yeah, I think that's good enough. Good enough for me. Okay, so number 5. Don't you find it intrigue how Jeremy always comes to work looking so untidy? Don't you find it interesting, intriguing? I think again the problem here might be that people write it, they spell it wrong. They forget to take the E off or something like that. Obviously, yeah, you get a few mistakes, I guess, from Romance languages here. Obviously, when we're talking about often ing for adjectives, that when we're talking about a quality that something has, it's interesting, it's intriguing, it's boring. Okay. Doctors say a glass of warm milk before bedtime can result in a more, rest night's sleep. Now, I don't know. Because what do they mean? Rest, I think you could, well, I don't know, because a glass of milk, I think people normally say that it like gives you a more peaceful night's sleep, that you sleep better with a glass of warm milk. But I don't know if they're saying restless, like that it's worse, it makes it more difficult to sleep. Doctors say a glass of warm milk before bedtime can result in a more restless. Restless would mean that it makes it more difficult to sleep. Or I think the word, does the word restful even exist? Am I inventing that? Restful, yeah, it does exist. I don't know why I doubted that. I would say restful. I would say restful because that's what I've always heard. But maybe doctors say that it results in a more restless. I don't know. I don't know what doctors say about that. But yeah, restful. I guess restful. Well, okay. Tim Berners-Lee has received many awards as the inventor of the World Wide Web. Well, he is a person. He is an inventor. I guess this could result in people spelling it wrong or something, but inventor with OR, I can't really think why that would cause a problem. Okay, number 8. On the final day, we visited the Majesty Victoria Falls, and then flew home. Yeah, okay, it's an adjective now, so I think what we're going to say is majestic. The majestic Victoria Falls, and then flew home. Let's see. Got anything wrong? We got them all right. There you go. 8 out of 8. I don't know if you can see that, but I got them. I did get them all right, I promise. Okay, so good. Let's move on. Let's do another one. So, exercise 2 here. Same thing again. And it says, number 1, the day recommended intake of vitamin C varies from country to country. So you can see that this is a word that comes up quite a lot because people make the mistake. They spell it wrong. And so you'll see that quite a lot, that often the same words come up exam after exam. Daily is one of those words. The daily recommended intake of vitamin C varies from country to country. Okay. When shopping online, many people make use of price, again, comparison. Why is this so common? Why is it such a common word? Because people get it wrong all the time. Like me right now, because I can't write on this tiny keyboard on my phone. Yes, make use of the price comparison websites. Yeah. The book, like the movie, tracks the anxiety and grow pains of a teenager in 1970s Germany. Now, this is a bit of a collocation because I think a lot of people would tend to say growth pains here, but actually we don't say growth, we say growing pains. The pains of the process of growing. No, the growing pains. The growing pains of a teenager in 1970s Germany. Yeah. This wine has a very fruity flavour to it. And please aftertaste, I really like it. Well, again, often they put these words in because if they end in E, a lot of people aren't sure how to put the suffix on. This would be pleasant, so we take the E off the end, and there we go. Pleasant. Has a pleasant aftertaste. It leaves a nice taste in your mouth. Yeah. Okay. I've lost all enthuse for this concert. I'm finding it boring. Can we go? Yeah, this is another word that makes people doubt this ism at the end, this suffix. But yeah, it's not too difficult either. It's enthusiasm. Enthusiasm. I've lost all enthusiasm for this concept. Okay. The opening of this new restaurant should satisfy the sophisticated of local Indonesian food fans. Should satisfy the, I guess, the sophistication, no? The sophistication. The sophistication of local Indonesian food fans. Yeah, no big mystery there. Okay, you don't respond well to positive, and again, this ism, right? You don't respond well to positive critic. A typical word here that people write critics or whatever. A critic is a person. The noun for the thing that they give you is a criticism. Obviously, some people, I think, would put this in plural as well, criticism. But no, normally criticism is uncountable. Okay. Number 8. As it may seem, mammoths were alive only 5,000 years ago. Wow, actually, that is incredible. Yeah, incredible. Actually, that's just blown my mind. So does that mean that, like in the time of the pharaohs, there were woolly mammoths? Probably not in Egypt, though. So let's just quickly mark the answers. I got one wrong. I must have spelt enthusiasm wrong. I thought that's how I had spelt it. Let's have a look. Did I spell it wrong? I wrote enthusiasm. Okay, fair enough. Yeah, it's enthusiasm. It's just this tiny damn keyboard. I can't write. And the U and the I are right next to each other, so you believe me. I didn't get that wrong. That doesn't count. I've still got 100%. Shut up. Okay, let's go to the third exercise. So we've done 16 now. Only another 100 or 90 something to go. Okay, number 1. Large spiders from Southeast Asia are now being seen in the local countryside. So I think this would be the adverb originally from. So they're from Southeast Asia originally. No, originally from Southeast Asia are now being seen in the local countryside. Yeah, no problems there. Okay. Collecting garden gnomes might seem an unusual, but many people do it. And that one's fairly easy. I think an unusual activity. It's an unusual activity, an unusual hobby. Professor Watkins wasn't only an to me, but to thousands of others lucky enough to have met him. It wasn't only an inspiration. Yeah, again, not to inspiration. Again, no problems, I don't think there. Okay. For someone so young, Carl is a very literate and eloquence. He has eloquence. He is an eloquent young man. Whoa! Where am I again? Very eloquent young man. Eloquent. Yeah. He uses big words like eloquent. Actually, I always get it wrong. No, what does eloquent mean? That they use big words? Or that they speak well? Something along those lines, isn't it? The New Year celebrate in this area of the country involve dancing and a drink made from melons. Now, this would seem easy because you're going to say celebration, aren't you? But be very careful because there are very subtle things in this part of the exam. Involve is the verb, and celebrate, whatever word we're going to take from there, celebration is the subject of that verb. So it has to be in plural. The New Year celebrations. And it would be absolutely wrong if you only wrote celebration. If you only wrote celebration, it would be wrong. They wouldn't give you the answer. They wouldn't give you the mark. You have to write celebrations there. So you have to be careful with grammar sometimes. All the time. Number 6. The of the Rubik's Cube peaked in the early 1980s. Yeah, it's not so popular anymore, is it? The popularity, I think. The popularity of the Rubik's Cube peaked in the early 1980s. Yeah. The musician's work is very and difficult to understand. Many people say it's just noise. Is the word conceptual? Conceptual? I think it's conceptual. It's very conceptual. I'm never sure what conceptual means. It just sounds just like something that, artists say when you don't get what they, what a load of crap they've just made. It's conceptual. Something to do with a concept. Well, everything is to do with a concept, isn't it? It's kind of like when people say there are chemicals in our food, and it's like, okay, can you show me something that isn't a chemical on Earth? Anyway, number 8. Tom told us that he wasn't coming. Then he turns up with 2 guests. I'm furious with him. What? And Tom, Tom initially told us he wasn't coming. Then he turns up with 2 guests. Oh, I'm furious. All correct, I believe. Yes, absolutely. Okay. Let's move on to word formation exercise 4. Well, here we go. Let's see. Though expensive, the guide tour we took in Jerusalem was worth every penny. So, yeah, I don't think there's any doubt here, really, is there? We're going to say the guided tour. The guided tour. It was guided by a guide. Okay. Number 2, increase. Local police are saying that the people they see are sleeping on the streets have mental issues. So yeah, I think what we're saying here is as time goes by, this is happening more. It's augmenting. So this is a very common word that people get wrong. Increasingly, local police are saying the people they see sleeping on the streets have mental issues. Yeah, absolutely. Yes, I agree, local police. Okay. The Levitt Institute fights against censor in movies and literature. So it fights against... Now, this is a word that people get wrong, and it's a suffix that people forget quite a lot. You've got friendships, relationships. This institute fights against censorship. Censorship in movies and literature. Yeah, absolutely. You can get people who are offended by things and then they try to censor everything, don't they? Which isn't good. Okay, number 4. David Barron's latest crime thriller ends with an intrigue final chapter that keeps you guessing. Yeah, for some reason intriguing keeps coming up. An intriguing. Oh, goodness. Intriguing final chapter that keeps you guessing. Okay, good. The true origin of spoken language remain an area of fierce debate. Now, this is really nasty when they give you one like this, because we have to change very, very little here. The true origins, I think, is... Yeah, I think that's the only thing we have to change there. The true origins just because that's what you would say. The origins of spoken language. Remain an area of fierce debate. Yeah, it has to be origins, because remain an area of fierce debate. Origins is the subject of the verb remain. Obviously, origin would have to be treated as third person singular, so you'd have to say remains. The origin remains. The origins remain. Yeah, so that can be a really tricky one. You only had to put an S on it. Make it plural. The two families fell out after Mr. Dawson and said Caroline wouldn't be a wife for his son, wouldn't be a suitable wife. Yeah, again, this is a word that seems to come up rather a lot at all levels. Oh, for God's sake. A suitable wife for his son. She wouldn't be an adequate wife, an appropriate wife for his son. Suitable. She wouldn't be a good match. Okay, it is the bride's father who has tradition paid for a wedding. Who has paid for a wedding? Who has adverb? How has he paid? Traditionally. Traditionally. In what way has the father of the bride paid for a wedding? Well, traditionally. Normally, in the past. I had a rest night's sleep. My back was hurting and the storm outside made such a noise. Yeah, so this was the word that came up before that we didn't use, and it's restless. Restless. It means that you were unable to relax. You were unable to sleep, I guess, in this sense. You had a restless night's sleep. Okay, I don't think we got any wrong. No, we didn't. Excellent. Let's go to exercise 5. Well, we're getting through these fairly quickly, I think. Let's have a look. The Age of Enlightenment was one of great inventions and revolutionary. And I think this would have to be, or it would certainly sound better if it was in plural. So, discoveries. Oh, for goodness sake! It's so hard to do it on the phone. Revolutionary discoveries, yeah. Great inventions and revolutionary discoveries. Yeah, no mystery there, I don't think. The judge was forced to acquit, saying the evidence was wholly... Oh, now this is difficult. So the evidence, I think there's a bit of a trick here. I think some people would say conclusive, but if the judge was forced to acquit, it means that if he acquitted the accused, it means he didn't prosecute him. He didn't find him guilty. He acquitted the accused, the defendant, and so therefore he must have found that the evidence was wholly inconclusive, I think. Yeah, that one was a bit more difficult, I guess. Okay. The of the opening of the new bridge continued until nearly midnight. Well, I think celebration. I think it was just one celebration. Maybe they would accept celebrations there. I'm not sure. But I think it's just a one localized celebration. They're celebrating a new bridge being opened. And why wouldn't you celebrate that? So long as there was social distancing. Okay. Number 4. Harry Stevens is the man most often credited as being the create of the hot dog. Yeah, very easy. Mr. Footlong hot dog inventor. The creator of the creator of the hot dog. Yes, Harry Stevens, a true American hero. Okay, number 5. Can you think of one solitude reason why I should give you your job back. One, and this is an adjective, one solitary reason. One solitary reason why I should give you your job back. I can't think of any. Number 6, that the Vikings had horns in their helmets is a common concept. It's not a concept. It's something that people believe. It's a myth. It's not true. They didn't have horns in their helmets. How crazy is that? It's a common misconception. It's a common misconception. Deal. It's a common misconception, yes. They didn't have horns in their helmets. I bet they did. I bet they did. You know, for some reason we thought they had horns in their helmets. So I bet some Vikings had horns in their helmets. Whatever. Who cares? Number 7. Local officials were surprised at the scale of the against plans for a local casino. Yes. So when people get very indignant about something and they shout out about something, they make themselves heard. They don't want a local casino. They don't want people gambling. No, there was a public outcry. There was a public outcry against the plans for a local casino. I agree with the sentiments. So, eloquence, again, expressed in David's wonderful speech. Well, how were they expressed? They were expressed eloquently. Eloquently. I wonder if I can do this. My voice probably could, yeah. Anyway, there you go. Good. All right, let's continue. I think we got them all right. Yeah, no problems there. Excellent, excellent. Let's go to exercise 6. Well, we've already done, how many are we doing now? We've done 56 sentences. That's pretty amazing. We're more than halfway through this thing, I think. No? Is this number 6? Whatever. It was quite recently that human was first captured on camera. Oh, God. Yeah, I've just realised what that is. Really? I think it's conception. Now, I'm not quite sure what they mean by this because I think there are quite a lot of videos of human conception on the internet. But I guess what they mean is at a microscopic level. Yes, maybe that's true. Okay, number 2. It was my uncle Clive that provided me with advice and sound guide when I was young. Yeah, again, similar to advice, really. We like to do that a lot in English. Put 2 words in the sentence which mean exactly the same thing just to make it sound more, I don't know, maybe more eloquent. Sound advice. He gave me advice and sound guidance. Sound is like very good, very correct. Guidance, yeah. Instructions. It's advice, isn't it? Guidance and advice are the same things. Same thing, really. Okay. The author has a stilted and date style, which I found tough to enjoy. Yeah, when we say something's a bit old-fashioned, we can say dated. He has a stilted and dated style. Yeah, kind of an old-fashioned style, which he found tough to enjoy. Local planners admit they estimate the number of tourists that would come to the festival. Right, so I guess it's a problem if you estimate fewer than actually arrive. So, I don't know, what would be a bigger problem? Overestimating or underestimating? So What are we going to say? They underestimated the number of tourists that would come to the festival? I guess that would be a bigger problem than overestimating. No, I don't know. What is bigger, I think? Local planners, I think, underestimated. Underestimated. I guess it could be overestimated. Because it's taken out of context, this sentence, it's not really clear. Obviously, if they underestimate and too many people come, that's a problem. But if they overestimate and they've spent too much money setting up the festival, and then not enough people come, that's also a problem. Not very clear, that one. Okay, number 5. As is the case when I go to a restaurant, I ate too much and spent a fortune. As is always the case. As is invariably the case. Invariably the case. Yeah, okay, number 6. It's a hot day today, so take the of using sun cream and drinking plenty of water. Okay, so this is when you plan for something bad happening. No, you take the precaution. Take the precaution of using sun cream and drinking plenty of water in case you get sunstroke. Of course, good idea, good advice. Number 7. Whatever conclude are drawn from these results, you can't deny it was a groundbreaking experiment. Be careful again here, plural, because whatever conclusions are drawn, whatever conclusion is drawn, whatever conclusions are drawn. Okay, so we just need to be careful with that. I don't think the word in itself was hard to arrive at, but yeah, we must remember to put it in plural. Whatever conclusions are drawn from these results, you can't deny it was a groundbreaking experiment. Yes, it was a vanguard, breaking new ground, never been done before. So it doesn't matter what conclusions we draw from it. It was still groundbreaking. Mr. Hansard was elected president after a dispute election result. Oh, very topical. After was elected president after maybe a disputed, I guess. Again, we don't really have the context, but I'm guessing it was a disputed election result. And they're all correct. What do you know? There you go. We continue. We must strive for more. Number 1. In keep with an ancient tradition, dinner will be served on blue china. China is what we call porcelain. Surprised we're still allowed to call it that, but we still do. Will be served on blue china. Yeah, so this is an expression, you either know it or you don't. In keeping, right? So it's like maintaining the ancient tradition, adhering to something. Yeah, in keeping with an ancient tradition, dinner will be served on blue china. Okay, number 2. It's credible rare to see large sharks in the Mediterranean Sea. Yeah, it is. What is it? It's an adverb, isn't it? So it's incredibly. Whoa! It's incredibly rare to see large sharks in the Mediterranean Sea. Yeah, you don't see them very often. It's incredibly rare. The royal wedding finished with a 8-course meal in the evening. Same word, we've seen it again. But it's good to know the ones that come up more than once because, you know, it means that they're more likely to come up in the real exam. The royal wedding finished with a majestic 8-course meal in the evening. Okay, scientists used a simple beetle as the for their invention of a water collecting bottle for hot climates. As the inspiration for their invention. Yeah, absolutely. Let's go. A group of powerful finance invested in the new company and made a fortune. Okay, so this is a noun, isn't it? They're a group of people who invest in companies. I'm not sure I'm going to get this right. Finances? Oh, God, I don't know. Finances. Or isn't there a word? Hang on, I'm just going to check this. I know you're not able to check it. Or yeah, you are. You're on the internet as well, so shut up. Yeah, financier exists as well. Yeah. I was going to put that, and then for some reason I doubted. But yeah, financiers. I can't remember even how we pronounce it. How do we pronounce it? Both of them are correct. So financiers or financiers. Yeah, in the UK I think we say financiers. 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 Let's listen.
Financier.
Well, there you go. Financier. Okay. Let's have a look then. Helen Weldon has been totally an historian after it was shown she invented quotations. Okay, so she has lost her credit as a historian. She has been totally discredited. She's been totally discredited. Yeah, I see. There's a mistake there. And a historian, it should say as a historian. She has been totally discredited as a historian after it was shown she invented quotations. Can't invent quotations and continue to be a credible historian, whatever. Let's move on. I'm going to stick to the script. Okay, number 7. In your estimate, how much money do we need to save in order to buy the house? In your, I think you could, estimation, I think, in your estimation, how much money do we need to save in order to buy the house? In your estimation, yeah, I think that's right. Okay, number 8. Parking in the city centre can be a major convenient due to the narrow streets. Can be a major inconvenience. Major inconvenience. Parking in the city centre can be a major inconvenience due to the narrow streets. They're very narrow, and so it's difficult to park. It's such a nuisance, such an inconvenience. Let's have a look at the answers. We got them all correct. I got them all correct again. I'm not going to keep sharing the credit like this. Okay, number 8. Holidays where people carry out volunteer charity work are becoming increasingly, again, this word comes up all the time, increasingly over time, more so, increasingly popular. Yeah, very good. Okay. This morning's explosion at a chemical plant resulted in 1 and 4 injuries. Right, so 1 death, basically. 1 fatality. Again, I've misspelt it. There you go. 1 fatality and 4 injuries. Okay, number 3. We stopped at the church for 30 minutes to pay our respect to a local writer who had died. Yeah, we say to give our condolences, to pay our respects in plural. So again, that problem that you can get sometimes, that the only thing you've got to do is make it plural. To pay our respects. Okay, I think a toy gun is a totally suit toy for a 4-year-old. I'm guessing that the person thinks it is a totally unsuitable No? So, oh, for goodness sake, I'm rating it in the wrong place again. Unsuitable. Unsuitable. Yes, it's not appropriate. It's an inappropriate. It's an unsuitable toy for a 4-year-old. Number 5. Colin acted with restraint despite how angry he must have been feeling. So I guess we're saying that this is a good thing, no? We're saying that his restraint, despite being very angry, to have restraint even when you're angry is an admirable characteristic, no? With admirable restraint. Admirable. Is that right? Admirable. Am I writing that correctly? No, I think it's without an E, isn't it? I'm gonna say it's without an E, okay? And don't judge me. Now I'm going to check and see if it's right. But no, I don't know. Is it with? Yeah, it's without an E, no? Yeah, it's without an E. Yeah, good. Yeah, I just checked, just in case. Okay, number 6. The create of this new department will help the company face the next 10 years more effectively. So the fact that it has been created, the creation of this new department. Yeah, I think so. The summer school organised many for us to do. We were never bored. So again, be careful here. It has to be in plural. It's activities. Activities for us to do. We were never bored. There were many activities. The mayor was forced to resign after the cry at his ill-considered remarks. Again, one of these words that they expect that no one will know. Outcry, indignation. Oh, for goodness sake. Outcry. God, this keyboard is small. I'm sorry to keep complaining about the same thing. The outcry, the indignation and protests at his ill-considered remarks. He made some comments that were not really in good taste. Check the answers, and they're all damn well correct again, of course. So that was number 8, right? Was that number 8? Yeah. So let's go 9. 8 times 8? What's 8 times 8? 64. We've done 64. Another 36. Only another 36 sentences to go. Okay, number 1. Educational TV programs like this are very stimulate for young children. We want an adjective to talk about the quality of these programs, a quality that these programs have. They are stimulating. They're very stimulating. They grab the attention of young children. Number 2, Ben insisted on his article being by editors and left when his boss said that was impossible. I'm going blind. Ben insisted on his articles being... Ben insisted on his articles being modified by editors and left when his boss said that was impossible. Oh, God. So I'm guessing that Ben didn't want his articles to be modified. So what's the opposite of modified? Is it unmodified? I think it... Unmodified, I think. Unmodified. That one's a difficult one. Yeah, he didn't want them to be changed by the editors. Okay, number 3. Let's have a look. I am looking for a repute jeweler, who will be able to appraise this watch and tell me how much it is worth. Yeah, it's repeating itself now. To appraise, to evaluate, to assess, to have a look at this watch. and tell me how much it is worth. Yeah, I'm looking for a reputable jeweler. A jeweler, obviously, someone who works with jewellery, and they often fix watches or look at watches as well. They're experts in that. I don't know what I'm on about. Number 4, Jan Welbeck was a reputable physicist until his main 2 theories were completely somebody disproved them. No, that his theories were completely disproven, I think. I may have got a couple of these wrong, I'm thinking about it now, but let's have a look. Disproven. I think that one's right, though. Yeah. I only mean in this exercise. I know that all of the rest of them have been correct so far, and we'll find out. I am checking them all. But, yeah. The sharks, notorious, is somewhat unfair, as fatal attacks are extremely rare. So, yeah, when something has a bad reputation, we often say that it has notoriety. And I don't know if I know how to spell that on this. Notoriety, I think that's right. The shark's notoriety is somewhat unfair, as fatal attacks are extremely rare. It's a little bit unjust, the fact that people are so scared, that sharks are so notorious. No, they don't really deserve their bad reputation. Very cuddly. I read a story with the title, A Strange Occur at Talbot Bridge, which was about a train riding ghost. A strange occurrence. No, I always get this one wrong. I always spell this one wrong. So OCCUR, and I think it's ENCE. A rare occurrence. I think. Occurrence. I think it's an E. I'm not sure if that looks right. Well, we'll find out, won't we? I went on a diet that only fresh and organic food, and I could only drink water that included. So I guess incorporated. These are, I would say, getting more difficult as we go on. I'm doubting a couple of the last few sentences. The comedian joked about a plane crash, and some in the audience thought he was being respect. Yeah, very commonly confused word. Disrespectful. Okay, see if I've got them all right. In number 6, I got occurrence wrong because I didn't put the double R. Okay. To be fair, that was not, I didn't even notice. It didn't occur to me that I had written it wrong. Yeah, double C, double R. Yeah, occurrence. Right, fair enough. I shouldn't have got that one wrong. Yeah, because it was just written as occur, so I completely forgot. Yeah, double R, occurring, occurrence. Yeah, it looked wrong. I knew something was wrong. There you go. Okay, how many have we done now? We're 9 in, something like that. Yes. Okay, so we've done 72 already. That's amazing, and we've only been going for what, like an hour? Despite injuring his leg near the start of the race, Larry managed to finish a very respectable, I guess, creditworthy. I'm just gonna. Oh God, that shouldn't be an R. That should be an A. That should be a T. Creditable. I think, yeah, creditable exists. Does creditworthy exist, or am I completely inventing that? It does exist. Creditworthy exists. Now I'm doubting it's still creditable exists as well. Yeah. And creditworthy? What is creditworthy? Creditworthy. Oh, it's like trustworthy. Roadworthy. No, I don't know. I don't know what creditworthy is. Anyway, it exists. Yeah, I think creditable is the correct word anyway. Rory always has plenty of money, but I've never been sure what he actually does for a job, for a living, for an income. Yeah, for a living. What you do for a living is what you do to earn money, no? Okay, number 3. What caution do you take in the workplace to prevent accidents? Again, a word that we've seen come up before, and it's like what measures you take to avoid accidents. Oh, for God's sake! I can't keep using this tiny keyboard. What precaution do you take in the workplace to prevent that? I think actually, no, I'm going to correct that. I think it would be what precautions, plural, would sound better. Yeah, what precautions do you take? I want to know what kind of different things you do to avoid danger. Okay, the bomb caused extended damage to the older buildings in the town and had to be demolished. So, adjective, it caused extensive damage to the older buildings and they had to be demolished. Not the bomb, I guess. They didn't demolish the bomb. Kind of happens on impact, doesn't it? Number 5. The road was temporarily closed due to a spilled load of children's toys that created havoc. They created mayhem. They caused a lot of problems. Yeah, the road was temporarily closed due to a spilled load of children's toys that created havoc. What a bizarre sentence. 6. Though a talented doctor, she found that most skills were not transfer when she began working as a vet. So she couldn't use the skills she'd acquired as a doctor on animals. And you definitely can't use the skills you acquire on animals to work on humans, or at least not legally, I don't think. So they were not, I think we say transferable. Transferable. Yeah, so it didn't really apply. A lot of the things that she learned about human medicine didn't really apply when working on animals. This new design of the radio incorporates all the best features of our previous model. Okay, I think it's the same word as we saw in the previous exercise. The only thing is here you have to be careful because it is in the third person. No, it says incorporates. This new design of radio. I think it should say the new design of radio. This new kind of radio incorporates all the best features of our previous model. Yeah, it has all of the great things that our previous radio had. Who has a radio now? I don't. Oh, in your car, I suppose. Yeah, I don't know. Number 8. Maggie is always displaying great generous to those less fortunate than her. Well, she is always showing great generosity. I believe generosity. And I think I've spelt that right. Yes. Let's check all the answers very quickly. And I got them all correct. There you go. We're 80 in now. We have to do 3 more exercises. It's actually going to be 104 sentences, I guess, because there's 8 in each. Unless I just don't do the last 4. I don't know. Anyway, exercise 11. Let's see. Binging on this today. Harrison Ford. Harrison Ford wasn't the origin choice to play Han Solo in the Star Wars movies. No, I think he was a carpenter on the set, wasn't he? He wasn't the original choice. He wasn't the original choice to play Han Solo in the Star Wars movie. Yeah, I think he was. I think I heard something about him being a carpenter working on the set. Something like that. Okay, number 2. There will be a total solar eclipse at 2:14 p.m. today. Such occur are very rare. Be careful because double R, and be careful because it's going to be in plural, isn't it? Such occurrences are. And now I didn't get the double C either, for goodness sake. Such occurrences are very rare. Yeah, such occurrences are very rare. Good, okay. Number 3. Even short bursts of physical activity are believed to be very benefit to health. They're believed to be very beneficial to health, I believe. No? Short bursts of activity. No, just quickly sprinting or doing some like press-ups or something like that. Even that. Just working up a sweat, getting tired. They're supposed to be very beneficial for your health. Yeah, obviously better than doing nothing. No? Remaining sedentary like a couch potato. Okay, number 4. The inhabit of the town react negatively to crowds of tourists filling the roads and beaches each year. So the locals, the people who live here, the people are called the inhabitants. The inhabitants. There we go. The inhabitants. Yeah, this is one that causes a bit of confusion because obviously, well, I'm just thinking in Spanish again. We talk about to inhabit a place in English, but in Spanish it's habitar. And so if you say that somewhere is inhabitable, if you translate that word, it's a false friend in Spanish, inhabitable would mean the opposite, that it is uninhabitable. So I often like telling people that, and it makes me feel really intelligent. Number 5. Police are investigating the strange growth in street robberies in the west of the town. So this is the increase, the growth, the strange growth in street robberies in the west of the town. Okay, 6. Leighton City Council have started towing all badly parked cars in what is a very move. Yeah, well, I imagine if they're towing the cars away, no, they're coming to get them with the little crane, the tow mobile, the tow truck, the tow lorry. Yeah, it's probably an unpopular move, isn't it? You'd imagine. Except, I'm not sure if it's going to be unpopular with everyone, is it? Probably, you get your neighbours who are twitching from behind the curtains looking at the cars that are badly parked, and you know it's them who called, don't you? It's always them. Number 7. Conclusive proof that the Earth orbited the Sun was a great discovery, I think. No? There you go. Okay. Being so close to the Atlantic, the weather in Ireland is often both changeable and very predictable. No, it's changeable, so it is very unpredictable. It's funny, I live in Spain and I always seem to get sunburnt when I go to Ireland. Yeah, it's happened to me several times. Probably happened twice. There you go. What an anecdote. Anyway, yeah, got them all right again. What can I say? Okay, we're going to do 2 more, and then we'll have reached 100 now. So 12. Let's see. I think most of these are fairly easy. You can see similar patterns all the time. The similar words coming up again. The arrival of the summer tourist is very for the local economy. Well, you'd imagine it's very beneficial. Again, we've seen that come up about 100 times today. Yeah. Tourists, do you remember those? Graham rushed to sell his house before the end of the Financier, well, I think a fairly easy one again before the end of the financial year. Of course, again, this is really, it's just about knowing vocabulary, isn't it? About not making any grammatical mistakes. Spelling errors. Grammar does come into it somewhat. You have to read the sentence carefully. If you are over 21 years of age, you'll be able to see the censor version of the book. Right, so this is the version that doesn't have any censorship. So it's the uncensored. The uncensored version. The uncensored version of the book. Very good. Okay, the final draft of the treaty included a few minor modifying to keep everyone happy. So again, it has to be plural because it says a few minor modifications. You've got to be careful with this because they will mark it wrong if it's not in plural. Any slight problems in the spelling, it's just wrong at advanced level. So if you approached your studies as enthuse as your spare time activities, you'd be going to Cambridge. Not necessarily true, but okay. I think we need an adverb. We're saying how this person approaches, in what way this person approaches their studies and their spare time activities. If you approach your studies as enthusiastically, as enthusiastically as your spare time activities, you'd be going to Cambridge. Yeah, God, you need to be more enthusiastic about your studies. The tiger is a very efficient solitude hunter, living most of its life alone. Yeah, well, we've seen this one already as well. Solitary. It is a solitary hunter. It hunts alone. The detective concluded that it was conceive for the suspect to have made the journey so quickly. It was impossible. It didn't make sense. It was not believable, I guess. Inconceivable, I guess. Without the context, I'm guessing that the detective said that it's not possible. It's inconceivable that the suspect could have made the journey so quickly. Few can match the notorious of Jack the Ripper in a 19th century London murderer. This one's come up again a couple of times now. Notoriety. The notoriety of Jack the Ripper. Let's just quickly check the answers. And they're all correct. Wonderful. Let's go to 13. Last one we're going to do today. Last 8 sentences. When Jack Lobato was an influence gangster, local politicians would come to meet with him weekly. So, okay, you might not know this one particularly. There could be problems here with spelling. When he was an influential... Yeah, I hope I say that and then spell it right. When he was an influential gangster, yeah, they would meet with him once a week, the local politicians. Well, there you go. Who would have thought it? Local legend says the land is protected by a giant tiger, but few believe in these old tradition any longer. These, it's plural, traditions, I think. No. So we've seen that trap a few times. Now they give you the word tradition and people are thinking, oh, how can I change it? It's just in plural. These old traditions. It has to be in plural. This boxer is the champion of the world after his 6th victory. You can't dispute it. He is undeniable. He is an undeniable champion. There's no disputing it. He is the undisputed the undisputed champion of the world after his 6th victory. 4, I stretched and stretched, but simply didn't have the to reach the shelf. Yeah, very typical mistake. People spell it wrong. People can't remember it. Height. It's spelt the same way as weight, isn't it? Weight with a W, of course, but it's pronounced height. Yeah, okay. 5, Deborah was furious when she heard the comments that had been made about her. So she was obviously furious, and it was kind of predictable that she would be furious. She was predictably furious when she heard the comments. Okay, 3 more, and then we finished. Barry is only 4 years old. Barry? What a name for a 4-year-old. Barry is only 4 years old and will be accompanied by both his parents for the audition. Oh my God, they're sending him to an audition at the age of 4. Bad parenting. He will be accompanied. Oh no, I always spell this wrong. He will be. I'm too tired to even think now. He will be accompanied. Is it double C? I'm going to check it. It's not double C, surely. Why am I even thinking that? It's surely not. Yeah, it is double C. He will be accompanied by both his parents for the audition. Yeah, I thought for a second. Okay, after hearing his heartbreaking story, we were filled with admire for him. We were filled with something. We were filled with admiration. Admiration for him. Okay, last one. The hotel was harshly critic for refusing to give funds, and the bad publicity harmed it. It was a verb. It was harshly criticized. Harshly criticized for refusing to give refunds, and the bad publicity harmed it. Yeah, they don't give money back. Check the answers, all correct. And we are done. We have finished for today. Thank God.